I am here with Aaron Mitchum.
If your loved one was incarcerated today, would you know how to communicate with them? Well, last year, over 50 million Americans struggled to communicate with their incarcerated loved ones. So think about WhatsApp for the prison system.
You have a personal connection too to the prison industry, so it has a personal meaning to you.
And this is super revolutionary, is our AI operator. So we've partnered with a licensed cell phone carrier. We don't have to contract out with any prison ever. Essentially what currently happens is that the call can't connect without somebody being on the outside connected. Our AI agent, when they pick up the phone to connect the call, automatically picks up from your end.
That's so cool.
Nice.
Yeah, this is revolutionary technology.
Call a voicemail and then you have 3 messages from your loved one. You know, something that happened and I have ADHD with my husband. I'm like, I want to tell you right now, or else you're not going to hear the energy in my voice for how I feel.
I was going to say for their end too, if they have a problem and they can't get to us immediately, they can leave a message, which is something that we can't do on JPay.
Well, Aaron, how do you feel about somebody who murdered somebody, or whatever the worst case possible is? Not tell them straight up. Have you ever done anything illegal? Yeah. Okay. If that person was in your same zip code, grew up the same way you grew up, they would have had a different life.
This is for the prison wife. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass,
If I could summarize like what kind of week this past week has been by saying nothing but showing you one thing, it would be this.
Yes, we run on Duncan.
For our audio listeners, your girl has a 25 pack of Dunkin' Munchkin donuts. For those who don't know, the little donut holes. I'm so sorry if you don't know.
Well, listen, it's been a week.
I need them all. I need them all.
Yeah.
I don't even care. I don't care. I usually
feel
care.
you.
No, I don't.
I'm all out of F's to give. That's how I feel.
I literally am so exhausted from caring about so many things that I'm just like, I've been slowly giving myself some boundaries or else I'm gonna like explode.
Of course. You have to survive. You really do. Because, you know, we always say you give so much of yourself, then all of a sudden you feel empty and you feel like you're going to frazzle. So it's good, you know, you kind of have to.
Yeah.
But I do notice, hello, move over a little bit, move to the left. The right, sorry. Ooh, BP, what is that?
Just me with my side gig over here, my jewels.
Oh, so wait, stop. It's official, like a referee with the whistle. After getting me to buy the jewelry, you are now selling it?
I am now. I fell into the hole. I said it. I said don't do it, and I fell into it while telling everyone to stay away.
Yeah, I know last time we were on the pod, you were like, I'm afraid because it's an MLM and all this stuff. And then it's like, well,
there's ways to do it without it being like that too. And I know essentially at the end of the day, like I don't, I'm doing it because I like to sell jewelry and I'm not going to make anyone not do it. And honestly, it's going to be fun because like, even like, you know, I'm literally so excited. This is going to air next week, but we're doing my first live tomorrow, and I'm so excited because literally, for those who don't know, the way that this jewelry that I am going to sell on TikTok Live literally is like a mystery. Like you like buy a necklace or a ring or something, and then I open it, and it's like a mystery, and it is literally half the time. I say half the time. That's terrible. It's not. It's more than half the time. It's more half the time. It's more beyond your imagination. Do you know what I mean? Like I assume like when I think of rings, I think of like a stone and a band. You know what I mean? Because that's like the extent that my brain goes to. But like some of these rings that like they have are just like literally so like, what is this?
That's gorgeous.
I wish you guys could see on. Like, what are my hands? Why do I have all these rings on?
The star one is beautiful.
The star one was one of the ones on in my free.
Oh, that you got from your free bundle?
Yeah.
Cute.
This was another one from my free bundle. Cute little guy.
I love that.
Cute little.
Girl, you're gonna have so much jewelry, you're not gonna even know what to do with it.
I have so many necklaces, and guess what? It's crazy because I just want more. And it's just so fun because like I've never been a jewelry person before, and now like the fact that I have jewelry to wear is so fun because I've never wanted to, and now like every day before I go to work, it actually kind of makes work even a little bit more fun because I'm like, which one do I want to wear? Like, what do I want to like put on, or
So what is the official name of the company? Because that's
Maybe.
well, let me just say this real quick. Paige got me to order from one of the girls she gets from, so I ordered these hoops because you know me, I love hoops. The bigger the hoop, the bigger the hoe, right? So I got these, and I got so many compliments. My first time wearing them.
Did
I got so many compliments at work today about my
I
earrings.
love them?
So yeah,
I love
and
them.
I'll say this: I'm not a big pink person. Paige is making me a pink person.
Oh,
But these are like something that I'm starting to get more into pink. Like I have some Kendra Scott that's pink, so I'm starting to get into it, and I love these. So
I love
I'm
them.
ordering more hoops. Like I could live with you. Y'all see me every week on the pod. I always have big earrings. I love big earrings. I do.
It's so
But
fun.
Paige got me on one of the sellers to get one. And I will say it's like a lottery. It's like but you win. Like
Yeah,
you win every time.
yeah.
You buy something and you don't know what you're getting, but I mean the
And you can
stuff
get
that they
diamonds. You can get diamonds.
yeah, like
So, like,
real diamonds, and the stuff that they have is beautiful. So
yeah.
it's not like you're getting really ugly stuff anyway.
Okay,
So
but
okay.
then we have to stop because I feel weird talking about it on here. And I literally told
I
you
know.
before we started, I was like, I don't want to talk about it too much and make anyone feel
I
like
know, but we're all ladies. We love jewelry.
I know.
So, but I just want to know what's the name because it says BM on it, and I just
Prom
don't know
party,
the.
BP.
Oh, it's BP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It looked like an M.
Yeah.
Okay, so BP means
Mm-hmm.
bomb
Yes.
party.
Well, you might have been
Okay.
looking at her card. Her card says BM because it's Bling
Oh, okay.
Mansion.
Okay, that's
But
why.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Sorry, guys. We just wanted to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole here. But obviously, I'm very proud of Paige for doing it. She was debating for a long time, and I'm proud. Mama's proud.
I
Mama's proud of her baby girl, for taking charge and having a woman-owned business, and running. Who run the world, girls?
And
So
honestly, even if you guys don't want to buy, which I literally, that's fine. You should come hang out because it'll be fun,
it's
and then I won't be alone too.
I'm saying when Paige was buying all her stuff, like I would just sit there and watch and be like, "Oh my God, Paige, look what you
Mm-hmm.
got!"
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't buying anything. I bought two things one night and that was it. And I just love watching when my friends get stuff. So it's nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, darling, are we ready to start? Because they missed us oh so much last week,
I love
and we
that.
love you. Can we
We miss
can I
them.
just say, love you guys for that?
Mm-hmm. We do.
Because the amount of stuff we got, like, there's no pod this week. There's no pod this week. Oh my God, what am I going to do? There's no pod this week. I miss you guys already. And I'm like, well, I mean, sometimes we do have to take a break. But guys, just saying thank you so much for missing us because we missed you and wanting us to be there every week. But just know that we're yes, we're superheroes, but we're also real people and life sometimes happens. So
Yeah. Sorry to everyone who's also in my any DM, like Instagram or Facebook, because I literally have so many unread messages on both of those. And there are a lot of really awesome people, and I don't want them to think that I'm ignoring them. I literally have just been, life has been like on my ass recently. And I just like have been like stepping away. I literally have 10 unread messages on Instagram, and then Facebook was like up to like 12. And I just like, I get to a point where I'm like,
yeah. Well, and like we always say, boundaries,
mm-hmm,
sometimes you need to step away and say, I need to take care of myself,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, and sometimes, I know people in today's age want responses real quick,
And I
but
like to give them
sometimes
quick too.
I know, me too. I feel bad when I
I'm a quick
don't.
person. I'm like
Yeah.
I like quick back and forth, but like yeah, like you said, I'm glad to be back. I'm ready to go.
But I think it's good to know that, people that you have boundaries and you set that up. And obviously, it's you practice what you preach is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I said when I did it too, because I was
Yeah.
like, I keep talking about telling everyone to take a break, but I literally am taking on more things and still want to, and I just need to pace myself too. So,
Yeah.
cheers.
Ooh, she got her donut. Well, while she's eating, I'll go ahead and greet everybody. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Love Within Walls, a Prison Wife podcast. This is episode 51, and I am your friendly host, Gigi, and I'm here with my lovely co-host,
Paige, hello. Finished
Hey,
my donut
y'all.
in time to say hi.
Perfect timing. All right. And we are going to get started with our episode. We have a very special guest today, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, we're going to get into our sponsor, Beyond Bars Imaging. It's bunny hop time, guys. So get your Easter pictures, get your spring pictures, get your pastoral, naturistic, beautiful floral pictures happening with Paige. She's a genius, and she can take any picture that you have and make it oh so beautiful and not so prisony. So get at your girl at Beyond Bars Imaging on Facebook, Instagram, and the Tiki Tacs. All right. Are we ready, Paige? Are we ready to get this party started?
As ready as I'm gonna be.
All right. Here we go. I'm so excited. It's been a week, so I missed our song. Here we go. All right, guys, it's time for What Up With That legislation. Paige, do you have anything?
Why don't you go first?
Oh, you want me to go 1st? Do we have the same one?
I don't know.
All right, let's FO. Let's FAFO. Here we go. All right, guys. Well, I am coming to you from Virginia. The Reform on Instagram nonprofit posted the fact that this legislative session with HB 2252 and SB 936 probation incentives advance in Virginia. And just so you guys know, Virginia did not have parole or anything like that. Aaron Haney, who is Chief Policy Officer of Reform, said Virginia is now poised to join 20 other states that have taken significant strides to modernize and strengthen their supervision system with policies that benefit public safety and communities. Ren Williams, Virginia state delegate, who is a Republican, said by focusing on rehabilitation over punitive measures, this legislation will reduce caseloads, cut costs, and create a more efficient system that helps people reintegrate rather than cycling through incarceration and supervision. The Virginia Police Benevolent Officers Association said the Virginia Division of Southern State Police Benevolent Association proudly supports HB 2252 and SB 936 because they prioritize public safety by ensuring our probation officers can focus on high-risk offenders. So basically, this legislation supports securing and maintaining employment, furthering education post-incarceration, finding stable housing, assessing essential treatment, and maintaining health insurance. It would also reduce probation time and cut caseload officers so that they can focus on what matters most. The General Assembly votes on the governor's amendments on April 2nd, so let's get it done. Okay, Virginia. I like this. And I do like the fact that everybody from all parts of the community are coming together to support this bill. I can't tell you how rare that is to see a police association supporting better probation and parole bills like this that are actually focused on rehabilitation versus just punitive. So, hey, okay, Virginia. Meet Virginia. Okay. Sorry, I had to sing that song. All right. Is that what you had, Paige?
No.
Okay. All right. We're winning. We're winning. Okay. Your turn.
I came across an article about our friends, written by Fox News, our friends, the New York correction officers.
Oh, Lord.
Our BFFs. It's titled New York Correction Officers Want Dem Prison Reform Repeal, Say Deal Ending Strike is a Slap in the Face. A mother of one corrections officer says that Governor Kathy Hochul's deal is a slap in the face to officers. Why don't we talk to the mothers of the men incarcerated in there?
Yeah.
Just
Nobody
thought.
wants to talk to them, apparently. They're not good enough, right?
Yeah, so this is literally just an article that Fox News is giving airtime, of course, too, because this is what's important right now. Talking about how there are unsafe conditions made by Kathy Hochul, and that the things that they're most upset about are the things that are the subject of the legislation, which is the HALT Act, which we know that we've talked about. However, since some 15,000 correction workers have been on a wildcat strike, and they have gone back, as we know, but the ones that have gone back are dragging their feet as expected. We, could have imagined that would happen. But they're still loud and proud because guess what? News stations like Fox want to give them a megaphone to keep sounding off. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. I don't want to get too much into this because I feel like we've talked so much about the New York corrections officers, but I'm just like, this is what is on like foxnews.com, like a national, like, imagine any kind of like story about reform or anything like to ever hit their news stands. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And it's just really frustrating that like, they're still pulling at this chain when they already were told they're not going to get their way.
And their union agreed to what the governor had given them as far as a compromise. I mean, listen, let me just say this. In a compromise, you don't get everything you want. You kind of have to say, okay, I'm going to take this, but I'm going to leave this, right? So it's not, I think we live in a world too where people think, I want it and I want it now. And I'm going to get what I want when I want it now. And I want this. And if I don't get this, I'm going to go on a hate parade.
Well, that worked for them.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, even though they can get everything they wanted, they're going to still sit here and yell and shout and throw their temper tantrums. Meanwhile, while they were having the strike, I want to say like 7 people died in docks, the New York dock system, that were incarcerated.
I didn't know 7.
Yeah. Because of lack of care, because of lack of supervision, because of just being left to their own defenses. I mean, when you institutionalize people and then you take away their structure, or you just sit there and lock them down together, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. I know some of the people died because of lack of medical care. So, there's that. So I don't know. I just think, look, you either go to work or you don't. You either, deal with what was given to you, or you just move on and you get a new job and stop your complaining because,
let the fuck up and get out of the news. Yeah. We don't care.
And listen, we've said this before. We understand that this job is a thankless job. It's a job where you don't know what's going to happen and you're putting your life at risk almost every day. And it can be very dangerous and scary. Not saying that. I don't appreciate these people doing this job, but, it's like, it's one thing, if they do it, it's okay. But if teachers strike, God forbid, you know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. I just think you've had time. They've listened to some of your demands and they've given in, and, stop trying to heckle over every little thing because it's just wasted breath at this point to me. And your organization that you run, that you let run you as the union that represents you, agreed to this. So you either get out and find a new career, or you say, okay, this is what my union accepted. Okay, this is what I have to do, So.
The next article I have is talking about the absolutely insane political theater act that I'm sure you've seen. The the title of this is from The Guardian. The human rights group rebukes Kristi Noem's visit to the El Salvador prison. Tell me that you've seen that video.
I have not.
You're so lucky.
Please fill me in.
It's
I kind of stay away from some of that stuff.
It's the same as that young. I don't even know who he was. He was like some young boy who looked about 21 years old that was like walking through the El Salvador prison and like pointing at the guys, like talking in like a vlog way, like giving like a tour of like the prison and like, look at all these guys. So she actually now went. And her whole little get up, and because you know wherever she goes, she gets dressed up and like got to look all cute and stuff. And she strutted her stuff right in front of all these incarcerated men and talked about them like, you know, they were scum on the earth. And I don't know how anyone with any kind of a soul could like actually witness that and like not like start like sobbing uncontrollable. I would start sobbing. Like I look at
I
videos
saw
of
the
it and I have to close
videos
out because I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I saw the videos of the guys getting taken off the plane and, you know,
Yeah.
the way they were treated. And I'm just like, this is what we're standing for? Really?
Yeah.
I don't care if they're immigrants. I don't care. They're human beings and they're being treated like they're cattle about to be slaughtered in a slaughterhouse. Are you kidding me? Sorry.
It's disgusting. So the prison that they're being held in was built in 2022 during a brutal government crackdown on organized crime, where over 300 migrants previously in U.S. custody were recently expelled and are currently being detained. They have been accused of being violent gang members, everything to anything. I literally saw a story yesterday that was talking about some guy who was a cook in a kitchen, and they were going through, and any man that had any kind of a tattoo, they were making them, they were looking at them. And this guy had one tattoo, and he admitted it to them and told them, and he said, I have one tattoo, and it was an autism ribbon for his brother. And he's in there now. Because he has a tattoo.
Without due process.
Yes. These people aren't convicted of shit.
Yep. They're just rounded up like almost like I hate saying this because there's no comparison, but it's giving vibes such as the Gestapo rounding up people and putting them in concentration camps. Like I know that that's not the same, and I'm not trying to say it's the same, but it's that same feeling of just rounding up random people who might look suspicious to agents or whatever. And now they're being hauled away and treated like not even human beings. It's very disturbing. And, you know, I can't even look at somebody with empathy if you support the people being treated like this.
I've been blocking and getting rid of so many people that I actually am just shocked that they even support that kind of behavior. But
And I can just say this because I did see this, that now Marco Rubio, who is the person that put all this together, basically, is saying, well, not everybody in there is a gang member. Like he's like backpedaling, you know, which is.
He can shut the fuck up. He's so far down on their totem pole. He better hope he doesn't fuck up. Yeah. For real, like, buddy, shut the fuck up. Like, you know, you are on the bottom. Yeah. But it's just it's a huge human rights issue, and the fact that due process isn't happening is disgusting. And this, you know, the United States likes to say that we uphold principles and due process and, you know, protection for asylum seekers and stuff, and we are none of that. We can't even say that, you know, deporting people to foreign prisons. Especially a foreign prison where they are notorious for abusing humans.
Yeah.
How can you even, like, you can't even write a different narrative. Like, you literally are sending them there because you want them to be abused and dehumanized.
Yeah.
And then they want to send this half-naked woman in front of them to pose and take a video and say, look at all these gang members piled up. They're literally like can't even move because there's not enough room.
Yeah. It's. I feel like we've just hit
Guilty of existing.
Yeah, we've hit an all-time low. If this is what we want,
Yeah.
really.
It
Because
honestly.
let me say this.
I'll tell you what-
Can I just say this real quick?
Okay, go.
Sorry. I just want to say this because I'm gonna forget it. If this is how we treat other people, I mean, can you only imagine if our prisons were like that? Because hey, not far off. You know what I mean?
I can't even think about that.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Shit.
Oh, I should have let you go. You were adding on with the girl talking about the half dressed in front of the guys. Next time I'm gonna let you go.
I just think it's a huge moral failure, and I don't know how anyone can act like this is leadership, or how in a situation where, like, even if that was facts, like, how is that leadership? What are we doing? We're not ensuring due process. We're working with international partners and, like, forcing people to prisons where they're notoriously getting beaten. I mean, I know the bar is in hell, but, like, how much lower can it go?
Yeah. It's disturbing to watch, and knowing that my husband's incarcerated, it's even more disturbing to watch, because I'm thinking, if we're doing this now in other countries, what happens when it's turned to their own citizens? Because that was something that was discussed in this whole process. The fact that U.S. citizens would be going possibly to El Salvador. So
the last thing that I have to talk about, that I don't even really want to talk about, but I obviously have to talk about because that's what we do here. You guys have probably saw on the news about the terrible incident that happened at Mule Creek last November. A woman lost her life during a family visit. The autopsy just came back saying that she was strangled, and she did end up losing her life during her family visit with, I believe it was her husband. I'm not really sure.
yeah, it was her husband.
Absolutely terrible situation. And God bless her. God bless her family. I cannot imagine getting that phone call. Like, I don't even... It is insane, and it is crazy. I actually knew about this the day after it happened because I had my friend, her husband went there. So, like, this has been a known thing. It's getting public attention now because I believe she had the autopsy, because the autopsies take a while to come back. It came back. I believe that they originally thought that it was health issues, and when it came back that it was a strangulation, obviously they look at it a little bit different. And as you can very much assume, a lot of news stations have picked it up. It's all over everything, like News Nation. It's all over USA Today.
I was going to say it's also all over all of the prison wife groups.
Oh,
too, on
oh
Facebook.
yeah. I actually had to mute a bunch of prison wife groups because I couldn't do it. There were, it's everywhere, and everyone's talking about it. And I'm so sorry to everyone who messaged me about it, because I probably responded and probably didn't sound super kind, but I have, as you can assume, I've just been going through it mentally, because, like, it's never really something I thought that we had to consider. And the thought of, someone, the thought and the scare here that I'm not saying is that, everyone is scared now, saying that will family visits get taken away for, I don't think, I heard someone say that he was LWAP. I don't think he was LWAP. I heard that he was life. But he was a violent offender. So I heard someone say something about violent offenders, and there might be more on the news. I have specifically not watched it, and I have specifically shut down a lot of conversations, even in my presence, because I just can't talk about it, because the way that my brain is like is handling it, guys, is just like I'm like, if that is proposed, then okay, I'll talk about it and we can like get there, but like what is all of this going to do? Because like yes, of course the news stations are going to pick this up and sensationalize it. Who's not going to see a headline like that and want to stop and read it and gasp, and it's the shock factor of all of it, and they know that. And people can be outraged and people can demand things, but we also know what we know on our side. And I'm also, I'm tied in with a lot of different like LWAP groups and foundations and stuff. And like, this is already stuff that is being talked about how to combat these possible, things. And so like, it's a known thing that, lifers or LWAP lifers, a lot of times we've talked about it on this podcast so many times. Those are who the free staffers will say are the most well-behaved men or the most kind men that they've ever worked with or met in prisons, like the violent offenders that, people are oh so scared about. Oh, I'm in a cell with a murderer. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
It's just, it sucks. And it goes back to the fact that these men and women, anyone incarcerated, is so much more than their prison sentence. And trying to push back anything on their prison sentence, doing it like that, I think is a complete step backwards.
Yeah.
Because we have already figured out that you guys already sentenced them incorrectly. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, it doesn't make sense, and I can't. I literally will just spiral.
Well, and I'm going to say this. I think it's good to say, like, what's the point in sitting here talking about what ifs? Because
Correct.
that's going to make you mentally crazy and just like you said, spiral.
Yeah.
When you don't like, if something does come about from this,
Then we can talk
then
about
you'll
it.
deal with it then. But why do all this? Like, well, what if this? Well, what if that? Like, that's just going to make you mentally go nuts. You know what I
Literally.
mean? And it's not going to do anything productive for you.
No.
So I totally get that.
Yeah.
I think that's a smart way to think about it. And so maybe saying like, I don't really want to talk about it because yes, it's a tragedy. Yes, it should not have happened. Yes.
Terrible.
I feel bad for the family that has to get this news, but I'm not going to sit here and play this what if game, because then it's going to make me panic and I'm going to just make myself crazy and miserable.
And I already have so many additional questions because, like I said, I know multiple people at Mule Creek that have said multiple things about the situation, about how the guy there were allegations, all alleged. This is all alleged, that he tried to unalive himself. Literally the week before he went out to family visit, and that he had known mental health issues and like all these other, I don't really know. So and other people saying that like Mule Creek was very aware of things and they are negligent, and like other people saying like how many night visit checks did they do, and I'm like, I'd love to know, because guess what, my ass is always woken up for those visit checks. I've never been to one that doesn't do prison visit checks. They literally call and you gotta go. So yeah, that's it.
I'm sure like I said, I'm sure there's a lot more to just the headlines. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's that's just one thing you guys got to keep in mind when you're reading these headlines, and remember the sensationalism of all of this, and that's their goal at the end of the day. It's the same thing as what they did with our loved ones' crimes. They want to sell. Well, they want clicks now. That's what day and age they want to sell. They want clicks. So like anything to get that view or get that click, they'll do it. They don't care if it's at your expense or our expense, or especially if they're like, oh, group mentality. Oh, this will get shares.
Yep. And it sure did. It sure did, because it went all
sure
over
did.
Prison Wife Facebook underground.
It
so
sure did. And I even got into it with a few prison wives I even consider my friends, but I didn't want to, but I'll say this, like, I'm not I mean, anyone who knows me, I'm not afraid to tell you what I think ever.
Yeah.
That's just who I am. But I feel like that's a good thing because like you're never really wondering. Like if I'm pissed off, like you'll know. I literally this person made a status saying something about how violent offenders shouldn't even have family visits or something, and
I saw that.
yeah, and this person I consider a friend, like not like a close friend or anything, but definitely like someone I would consider a friend, and like someone who knows my situation, definitely knows Joe's crime and knows that I get family visits, and we are Facebook friends. So I had to comment because I'm just like, I mean, like I made a comment. I was like, that's a really interesting comment because I would feel a million times safer locked in a room with my husband than any man out here without a violent record.
Amen. And just remember, not all violent men are incarcerated. Let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real. We all know that. And then
And I'm just thinking like of the numbers of domestic violence towards women.
Yeah.
And these women live in their house with these men. The numbers are staggering out here. So the number of the times of that happening is very minimal. So just keep that in mind too.
I cannot.
So, you know what I mean? Like it rarely happens. Let's be real. It rarely happens. Mm-hmm. But out here, it happens every day. There's a woman put in a hospital. Let's be real.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm just thinking like
we all know women that have, we've been through it, and we know women who have been through it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, can we save that for the next segment too? Can we please use that for the next segment?
Yeah.
Because that thought made me want to scream. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so it's time for our mean tweet session.
Let's go.
Here we go. Because I was that goat when I was reading these constant, and it was just not one comment. It was like a barrage of comments this past week on our YouTube.
Yeah, we were getting...
And please say her name because she needs to be outed.
It was all by the same person, too. I'm like, are you bored, girl?
She was bored. First of all, she was binging our stuff.
I'm like, do you have a crush?
Yeah, a girl crush, for real. She was even admitted she was binging. And
you loved it.
She said, I'm binging and cringing. Ugh. I'm like, okay, bye, girl. You have way too much time. Way too much time on your hands.
All right. So first message, that little, I don't know who, if they, them, I don't know. Raven Risby. Cool. Shout out your first and last name and being so bold and ignorant. Typical desperate women that have lost everything, just as usual. I said, wait, that was not the first one, I think. They said cringe binging. It's like watching a car wreck and having to listen, though. Yuck. Girl, are you okay?
Even some of our wallers were like, honey, are you good?
They must have deleted some. Because like this one says, good job not bringing your kid around him, blah, blah. And it's the one is deleted.
No way.
Yes. Why do these people always delete their shit after fighting with me?
No, I have it. You saved it and I have it because you sent me a screenshot. Okay.
Say it with your chest.
Yeah. No, you sent it to me, so I have it. Hold on. Here we go. All right. Do you want me to send it to you or you want to?
You can read it.
Okay. All right, here we go. These women are desperate, but put their kids at risk every day. People need sense and not saying excuses so wrong on every level. And women will never learn. It's because of their emotions only guarantee.
Incel.
I literally
Incel
stroked
alert.
out.
Incel alert.
And let me just say this. Miss Raven Risby. You can't even spell. You don't even make sense. Like, your English is not Englishing for me, for an English teacher, boo.
Well, what I said to her, I said, I'm happy to have a real conversation if you have an actual point to make, but so far you're just throwing out random insults with no clear argument. You're making sweeping generalizations about women without knowing anything about our actual lives. If you'd like to discuss this logically instead of repeating the same old tired stereotypes, I'll be here. Otherwise, you're just proving my point about people speaking from ignorance.
The most ignorant MFer. I'm trying not to cuss today. MFer on the YouTubes.
Yeah, shout
Like,
out,
it
shout out
yeah.
Raven Rig. What is it? I already forget it. Forget.
Raven Risby
You can tell.
with her fucking headphones on the picture. Like, she even had a picture of herself. She had her name, first and last name on there, and she just kept commenting. Bye, honeys.
Why are you so mad? I'm sorry that you're so upset.
And you type like a stroke victim. I shouldn't say that. That's mean. I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry that like something in our video triggered you to like set you off like that. I would recommend looking inward.
Yeah. And the thing is, she went on like multiple videos of ours and said the same shit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, are you done?
Yeah. That's what I said. Even our wallers were like,
I think she just wanted to be
honey.
hater of the week, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She wanted her moment. Well, here she goes. We
Yeah, you
gave
got
it
it.
to her.
Here you go, girl.
Well, Raven, thank you for your illustrious and beautiful comments,
Yeah.
because good Lord.
We couldn't have got by
Anyway,
without it. Thank you.
I'm like, huh? What is she saying? Huh? She didn't even make sense half the time. All right. Well, you want to introduce our wonderful next segment?
Okay, guys, our next segment, I am really, really excited to share with you guys. We have an amazing man here with us today. His name is Aaron Mitchell. He founded the company ourfreedom.ai, and I can't wait for him to tell you all about it the same way that he told us, because it's amazing and you're going to love it.
Enjoy.
Okay, hello, friends. I am here with Aaron Mitchum. I don't even want to try to explain your amazing story, Aaron, because the way that you gave your introduction to us the very first time was so amazing, and I would love for you to do that right now for everyone who listens to us, because it was my favorite
It's
I've
awesome.
ever heard.
Amazing.
Yeah.
No, well, first off, really appreciate you guys for having me on. It truly is a blessing, and I'm super excited to tell everyone about our product. My situation, essentially how we're here to help the world, right? So the question I'd asked everyone in general is, if your loved one was incarcerated today, would you know how to communicate with them? Well, last year, over 50 million Americans struggled to communicate with their incarcerated loved ones. That's a huge percentage of the American population.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit about me. I grew up in a low income family. Where I went to Morehouse College, and part of that was I had to ask 6 different family members to co-sign on my student loans. So think about my mother, my grandmother, my brother-in-law, my sisters, right? And I just said, make a bet on me and trust me, it'll come due. So essentially, after Morehouse, during graduation, I was fortunate enough to receive a scholarship. So Robert F. Smith, the richest black man in the world, CEO of Vista Equity Partners, came to our school and paid off our student loans. So I had about
Amazing.
$200,000 to $300,000 student loan debt, just wiped away clean. And I'm like, wow, okay, this is happening. Once in a lifetime opportunity and a chance, right? From there, what a lot of people don't realize is this man, every single month, he got on the phone with us, right? And he told us one thing. He said, Aaron, listen, I don't need you to pay me back. I have money. I need you to figure out a way to go help our community because we need help. Go pay
Mm-hmm.
it forward. And that's something that always stuck with me. And I knew I had to do something. So essentially, after Morehouse, I went into private banking at Bank of America down in Charlotte. And after that, I did investment banking up here in New York City, where I worked on software companies. So think like software, telecom in that space. And genuinely, guys, I thought I had made it. And
Yeah,
then one
I'd say.
day, I thought I had made it. I thought that I was doing so. I was like, oh, you know. But God
Mm-hmm.
had a different plan for me. And this one day, I got a call from my grandmother, who essentially told me that, hey, can you believe I bought this house in 1963, but I still owe money on it? And I'm like, Grandma, why? This makes no sense to me, right? And she said, well, Aaron, essentially, I have family members, friends who are in and out the system, right? Just since I was a baby till now, all the money that she had paid just to communicate with their incarcerated loved ones and also just bail, right? And I'm like, Grandma, 1963 till now, it makes no sense to me, absolutely no sense. And for me,
No.
I'm like, this is just a tech company, right? I work on billion-dollar transactions all the time. I do this all day, every day. And so I started Googling, doing a little research, and I realized, wait, venture capitalists put trillions of dollars into startups. They missed a very, 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 very important market. Why? And that's when I decided to leave my big boy investment banking job and to start my own company.
And thank goodness you did,
Yes.
because look
Yeah.
at this you
So
created.
yeah,
You
the way I like to explain what our business is think about WhatsApp for the prison system, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have any questions before I kind of get into
Yeah,
the whole.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but just to give our viewers some backstory, you have a personal connection too to the prison industry, and so it has a personal meaning to you. So I didn't know if, um, many of our listeners will listen to this and hear about the amazing things that your companies do, and we're prison wives or family members incarcerated, and we know these struggles. So like we we need your help, and that
Hmm.
I'm trying. I'm like trying to think of what I'm trying to say. We need help from people who have lived the experience and understand us on a human level, and not just looking at us like we are money signs.
Mm-hmm. A
And I
hundred
think
twenty percent.
you nailed that with your company.
Thank
Hmm.
you. Thank you.
Hmm.
I'm honored. I'm truly honored. I'm honored by you guys. I'm honored.
Yes. So maybe we can start. So our Freedom AI, we haven't even touched on it. We haven't given any detail on it. Maybe you can break down how it works and how it's a little bit different from, Securus 2 or DTL Karen that we talk about.
Karen. Yeah. So essentially, the way we like to think of ourselves is we're the WhatsApp for the prison system,
Yes.
right? So we have two different lines of businesses, right? So our first line of business is mail, right? So, and within that, we've partnered with over 3,600 mailers from around the country, right?
Hmm.
That's unheard of for a startup in our
Hmm.
stage, right?
Yeah.
Now, with doing so, right, you can get on our platform, send mail to your incarcerated loved one. If they do allow you to send mail, we know what's going on with that whole mailing system. A lot of them starting to roll
Yeah.
back. Especially Florida, they're starting to realize, third party, send it to third party, then scanning it don't really work out well. But essentially, you get on our platform. If you want to think through saying, let's say you wanted a picture of a cat, right, to send your loved one, you could actually type in. If you guys have already seen this demo, you can actually type in cat and it'll show a picture of a cat, and you can send a postcard to your loved one, right? Unheard
That's
of.
so
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
fun.
so cool.
We also scan every single piece of mail, just to make sure it's just an extra security measure. That was part of our partnership going with our mailers to make sure people just aren't saying anything bad, but we play a
Hmm.
little bit on the gray area, a little bit. Um, the second thing is, and this is kind of something that's really super revolutionary, is our AI operator.
Hmm.
Right. So I'll kind of break this down for the viewers, and you guys can ask any questions you have.
Yes.
So we've partnered with a licensed cell phone carrier, right? And so we don't have to contract out with any prison ever.
Hmm.
We've built a Trojan horse. So basically, how it works is with our licensed cell phone carriers. Think about if you have Verizon and they give you a number. Every single number comes from the government. So I always joke and I say, don't say anything over the phone because the government could tap in and listen.
Technically, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we have this phone number, right? And so essentially, what you're going to do is you're going to take this phone number on our platform. They're going to register through Securus, whatever communication platform that you use, or just text it to your incarcerated loved one. What's going to happen is when they pick up either the phone, whatever communication the service they have, the tablet, the phone, they're going to type this number in, or they'll tell the operator to. Now, this is the cool part, right? And this is really, 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 really interesting stuff. So essentially, what currently happens is that the call can't connect, right, without somebody being on the outside connected, right?
Hmm.
Our AI agent when they pick up the phone to connect the call, automatically picks up from your end.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is revolutionary
Awesome.
technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when our AI agent picks up and their operator asks, "Hey, to accept this call, press 1," our AI agent automatically presses 1.
Ugh. That is so cool. I can't tell you how many ladies I know that have tried to set up their voicemail box to do that same exact thing
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and have failed.
it's and
It's amazing.
it's revolutionary because it's so first thing, right? We're gonna kind of break it down. It's a little bit more technical, but the first thing is with our AI operator, right? So once it comes on, you can kind of listen to the AI operator. First thing is it can call your phone, right? Call directly to your browser. Now, why is this important? Yes, okay, communication is super important. We all understand and know that piece of it. But the most interesting piece is, did you guys hear what just recently happened with Skype?
No, I have not.
No.
So yeah, so basically, right, a lot of women and a lot of people around the world, right, were trying to connect with their incarcerated loved ones, and they couldn't do that without a United States cell phone number.
Wait, I did hear about this because we have some ladies who did. Yes, yes,
Exactly. So in part, right, this helps a lot because Skype went down and now people are hitting us up like, "Can you do this?" And we're like,
yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes.
"Yeah, we can do this." Right? So remember I mentioned we're like WhatsApp? We want to be a global brand, right? We want to
Hmm.
help everybody around the world. So first thing is your incarcerated loved one can call your browser, right? The second thing is, right, voice messages, right? So like you guys just mentioned the voicemails, things of that nature. And we actually learned this from TikTok. I know
Okay.
people have their controversies. Oh, first of all, TikTok. Look, TikTok, Reddit, and we learned, and this is just part of how we testing users. What they were doing was to be able to connect that call for their loved ones to leave a voicemail, right? So
Hmm.
they would typically like say that they would learn the number that whatever that operator was, and they would say that number in their voicemail, right? And so we kind of took that and used it for our own kind of system, right? And
Hmm.
through our AI operator, you can actually send a voice message and leave a voice message, right? So let's say when your incarcerated loved one sends a voice message, it can pop up. It's going to pop up on your platform. We've literally built a Trojan horse to do this.
Wow.
Amazing.
So
So
that's
that
kind
is
of that's the business itself, but
it's a game changer, especially for these facilities that don't have tablets and things. Like that
Yeah.
is absolutely amazing and something that, I can think of many women that are in that situation right now that would love to get their hands on this like immediately.
yes. So it's great because we've raised over $300,000 to date, right?
Amazing.
This,
Congratulations.
thank you. This right here has never been done at this scale,
Mm-mm.
ever, right? We're here to be a global brand. We're here to help people. And I tell people all the time, even if you just sign up, register, and just play around with our platform, I take that and I go back to Silicon Valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, hey, look, Silicon Valley, this is a huge market. Again, 50 million Americans struggled last year. Because
Mm-hmm.
what it's not about, okay, well, how many people are incarcerated? That's like one small data point to this. It's about how many people want to connect with that one incarcerated person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like think if you think about like it's so special like they have those days where they wait for mail call all day and then they get that feeling when they get that mail. Like imagine being able to call a voicemail and then you have three messages from your loved one or something that happened and I have ADHD with my husband. I'm like I want to tell you right now or else
Yeah.
you're not going to hear the energy in my voice for how I feel. So I'm going to call you
Yeah.
right now. And I
And
can do that with that. That's amazing.
I was going to say for their end too, if they have a problem and they can't get to us immediately, they can leave a message, which is
Mhm.
something that we can't do on JPay.
No.
So or Securus. So it's a wonderful feature for them to be able to connect with us as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. We've we just came across a company, and this has been a few months ago, where a few of them they've contracted out. I think Securus is trying to roll it out. They're trying to make their money back from the FCC taking them on. I think it's
Mhm.
basically we do believe in free phone calls, 100%.
Mhm.
If you get our platform, you can do free phone calls all the time. And it's quite interesting. What we've seen is that they've tried to do our same quote unquote method, right?
Mm.
Except for they can barely get this technology to work. So multiple companies that even try to attempt to get it to work. We're the only ones being able to do it, right? And the interesting part about it is they're charging people 50 cents to $1 to send a voice message.
Yeah.
Mhm. Of course. It's all about that.
Like,
It's
are you serious right now? Right? And part of it is right, like they're open. They're on an open software, so like VoIP, right? For us it's way different. Again, licensed cell phone carrier, right?
yeah.
And
Mhm.
so when the government try to go in, and this is why we say you don't contract out the government. When they go, when the prison system tries to go and block our number, it's super illegal for them to do.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Do you would that be would you consider that like your biggest roadblock that you had when setting up this company?
Honestly, I think the biggest roadblock that I've had is that's a really good question. It's a couple things, right?
Mhm.
It's capital, right? I
Mhm.
mean, look, you guys understand, like I'm black, right?
Mhm.
This year, I want to say I probably last year I raised like 5% in total of all black people raised, and
Wow.
this venture space. Um, and black people we only get a quarter of a percentage of funding. That's less than 0%, right?
Mhm.
That's been the hard part, and it's always going to be the hard part. Is part of it, right? But
Mhm.
also being able to tell people that this is not taboo, right?
Oh,
Yeah, you
yeah.
guys,
I hear you on that.
like, and you sit here. It's funny because people invite me to parties all the time because they just want to tell me it's every single demographic is different about how they want
Mhm.
to tell me about their incarceration stories. One time they might have went to jail or whatever the case might have been, and the question always comes up of, well, Aaron, how do you feel about somebody who murdered somebody, or what are the worst case possible is? And I tell them straight up, have you ever done anything illegal? Yeah. Okay. If that person was in your same zip code, grew up the same way you grew up, they would have had a different life,
Period.
Yeah.
right?
That's exactly
No
all
questions
about that.
asked.
Mhm. That's facts, and I mean we have the statistics and everything to prove that with how our country is sentencing people.
Mhm.
The stats don't lie. So
Yeah, we've it's a six out there where we over 90, and this is when we were looking at what is our demographic, right? Because again,
hmm
we have some best marketers, some of the best bankers, some of the best lawyers, some of the best product people, some of the best people in tech working for
hmm
me, right? So we
yeah,
dug really deep into this. And what we found that was over 90% of people who are incarcerated are men,
hmm
right? And that goes back to, risk levels and other things of that nature. But what we also learned is that 1 in 4 women has an incarcerated loved one.
Yep.
And over
hmm
90% of the time, the cost fall on the women to communicate,
totally.
Yeah.
right? Like this
When we
is
find prison husbands, we're like, oh my gosh, yeah, we're like,
Yeah, we're like excited when we
yeah,
find out there's a prison husband somewhere because it's rare. It's very rare.
very women dominated
Yeah.
area,
yeah.
and that is very interesting.
Yeah, because I was going to say, like, if you think about it, I know the statistic numbers are like, what, 2 to 3 million people in America are incarcerated, but
Or I've had
each
family. Yeah.
each person that is incarcerated, each person out of that 2 to 3 million, you can average about 3 to 4 people per person that support them in some way, shape, or fashion. So that's where that 50 million people, and then obviously 1 in 4 of that is women. So or 1 in 4 women have someone incarcerated. So the majority of those 50 million people are going to be female.
Yeah.
hmm
So, and I know, communication is so important to us and our relationships and keeping families together and holding that glue while someone is not there. So having this platform is it's so revolutionary and it's so wonderful to see them being able to reach us, us being able to reach them and not missing calls and, all of this miscommunication and all this red tape with the communication companies too.
hmm
And I'm about to add on to what you said, right? Because we literally,
Okay.
I had to break down a whole analysis. We didn't just raise $300,000 because, oh, hey, people think it's cute. No, we had to do a whole analysis on it, right? So this is
Mhm.
gonna really blow you guys' mind. Remember when you mentioned I think you mentioned the 2 to 3 million.
Mhm.
So that's within like prisons, right? But then the jail piece,
Yeah.
right? And that's what people and a lot of when I was speaking to investors, that's the piece they didn't get. They're like, oh, but I looked up. I'm like, no, 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 no. It's
hmm
prison and jail are two different things. Because when you go to jail, right, and I want to say last year was about 8 million people who went to jail. What people don't realize is a lot of those people in who go to jail, and again, a lot of people just assume, oh, it was a drunken night. No, 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 no. You have to actually make bail a lot of the times,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Majority of Americans don't even have $200 in savings,
Yep.
right? So you're sitting there incarcerated in a county jail for 6 months to a year, just waiting, right? We partnered with Trinity Church the other day, up here in New York City, where we had made packages for women who are incarcerated that haven't been charged yet. They're just in holding and at Rikers. They've been holding for the
Oh my
past,
God.
yeah, 3 to 4 months. They've been in holding, and we're sitting there like, are you serious right now? So this market is we're looking around probably around 8 to 10 million people who are incarcerated, and then we also, like you just said, right, we're looking at 5 to 6 different people who want to communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is huge, right? And that's why I tell people all the time, sign up to our platform because again, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
take that and go back to Silicon Valley and say, listen, this is a big play. We need more money, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, if you look at our cap table, so our investors, interesting enough. So as I mentioned, I'm with the Morehouse. Two of the venture capital funds. One's owned by a Morehouse guy. Another one of Morehouse guys a partner on. I got another Morehouse brother. I got a few more. Very diverse cap table. Very diverse group of investors. But investors care about this social justice space,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? They really care. And what my investors want to see, right, is Aaron, do you really have a market?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Do you really have a market? And luckily, they trust me. They leave. They love the numbers that they're seeing so far. Um, but we want to be a conduit to the prison wives or whatever the most comfortable way to say it to you guys.
Mhm.
Right? Everybody listening on call, use us, reach out to us. Like we want to help as much as possible. Right? You got any ideas? Throw them our way too.
Yeah.
Because
Hey,
we
that that kind of leads into my one question. I do you have any like long-term goals for our Freedom AI, and like do you see the platform potentially maybe one day replacing these Securus and GTL companies that just want to take all of our money maybe?
it's so funny. So everybody asks us that, right? And
Mhm.
especially as the founder, right? Especially again talking just to just these impact investors, and everybody wants to know that question. I think it's two things, right?
Mhm.
So right now, our software works in every prison and jail in America. Obviously, you can use it from anywhere around the world. So we want to go global, and the reason why I've started in America is 'cause I'm in America, but also if you look at the FCC regulations, right? Typically, what happens is other countries typically follow America's FCC regulations, right?
Mhm.
Um, a lot of the rules are very similar around the world when it comes to prisons, and as you guys know, over 20% of people incarcerated in the world are in America,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is a
Mm-hmm.
larger market than just America, right? And even I talk to people who who've grown up around the world, and they're like, "Oh, Americans typically do that," and I'm like, "Where are you from?" They might say Germany, whatever. I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you about what your country's doing," and they're like, "Huh?" Thought it was just an American thing. No, 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 no. This is a global thing,
Mhm.
right? So that's kind of the first piece, and that's why I mentioned we're like the WhatsApp for the prison system, right? The second thing is yes, we would like to. We would essentially we would love to just take on Securus and destroy them.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah. I mean, a little bit of our business model, right? Currently, we have mailing for just $2, um, and it's 2 day shipping. What you typically see on a lot of these other platforms is when you get there, you find out that it's only $5 to $10. So we did a whole analysis on that. We're like, no, 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 no. Let's go with $2, right? And then if you're a premium user, it's just $1, right? We make no real
Mhm.
money off mailing. For us, it's no big deal. Um, and then we do have a more features on our next plan that we've used, but the golden gate for us is to go global, right? Being able to take on these systems and make them all
Mm-hmm.
free, right? And be charged less than you would your own phone bill, right? And be able to give
Yeah.
a we're currently working on being able to give a percentage over to our nonprofit partners, right? So in a way, and this is something I've learned from Robert Smith, is that you have to use capitalism to fight capitalism. And yes, don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong, nonprofits are amazing, they're great, right? But we can do things that a lot of nonprofits can't, and that's what a
Mm-hmm.
lot of them have been able to see, right? And I'll be free. I'll pick up the phone. I'll have a conversation with you. Um, the prison system might not like me. Okay, whatever. I've gotten yelled at. I've gotten cursed out at.
Yeah,
And
they don't like anyone that takes their money,
yeah,
but
they don't. And so, but it's also interesting because we're millennials, and when you do talk to that older generation, they're either for us or they're against us.
like hard on either side.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
you're
was
just
gonna
sitting there
say.
like, well, what has been done? Right? And don't get me wrong, policy is great. This is amazing. But these women need it now.
Hmm.
Right? Like, they need it now. And okay, if you get mad because we do charge, we need to create a stand up business, come after me. I don't mind. Say what you want to say, do whatever you want to do in the news. But I know that I'm helping people all around the world at the end of the day.
Hmm.
And this is what I've dedicated my entire life to.
That's wonderful.
Sorry, not to
That
be too dramatic, but it's just
no.
the truth.
I mean, what you're doing is amazing. No one else is doing that. It's an area that a lot of people just look at and they're like, they're in prison. Who gives two
Yeah.
Fs? But
Yeah,
we
we'll
need
bleep it
we
out.
need that.
Yeah, I like
We
the way
need
you bleep it
it.
out.
Yeah. um, you said our listeners could really support our freedom by signing up. How else could they just like spreading the word and like their family members? Is there anything else?
Yeah. So, a few things. So, first off, the way we look at it is not just obviously signing up, but we do have social medias. So,
Mhm.
ourfreedom.ai. You can find us on TikTok. We've been blowing up
Mhm.
lately on TikTok. Instagram. So, ourfreedom.ai on Instagram. You can also follow me or anybody from my team. If you have a LinkedIn, reach out to LinkedIn. We have LinkedIn as well. You can reach out to me. Yeah, so that's kind of how you could support. Then on top of that, let's say if you say, well, Aaron, my church, so we're partnering with a lot of churches. My church does
Mhm.
a lot with the prison ministry, right?
Mhm.
How can we partner together? How can we partner together with the nonprofits, right? Because again, we do donate a portion of proceeds to the nonprofits that we partner with,
Yeah,
right? Like you
that's
sign
awesome.
somebody up, hey, those are because for me, right? It's different when it comes to the relationship, right? That these nonprofits, these churches have. It's a very sensitive subject, and I get it, right? I understand it. So a lot of our business model is B2B to C, right? Where we do partner with a lot of these organizations. So if you guys, anybody on the call says, Aaron, oh my God, this organization based out of the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, you need to talk to them. Oh my God, contact us, you guys, on our
Mhm.
socials. We're more than welcome to have a conversation, right? Because this is a global issue. It's not just, oh, well, the Americans do it. No, this is a global issue, right? And without everyone on the call, again, signing up, following our social medias, um, and just sending us any referrals or anything of that nature. And again, we are a startup, right? So if there's anything, something that don't work, let us know.
Mhm.
If there's something where you're like, Aaron, I think I have a great idea, let us know, right? And I'll really leave you guys on this. Our company, funny enough, I don't really run it, right? And I say this because I grew up 4 sisters. 96% of the people who work for me are women, right? So yeah, you guys met some of them. They're
Mhm.
amazing
Yep.
team. Love my team. Uh, but yeah, I say all I say is we understand, we know the demographic, right? It's not something where it's a whole bunch of guys are sitting in the back just trying to figure this thing out. No. We believe in DE and I. We believe in everybody having their own vision, their own goals, right? And that's how we've gotten this far. I would have not been able to get this far with the company.
Mhm.
And like I said, like you guys look at our website, it's really pretty, it's really nice. Well, that's because we knew who our demographic is and was, and the people
Mhm.
who designed it and built it are women.
And you can tell it's
Wow.
beautiful if you go. You guys have to go look at it if you haven't looked yet. It's a very. I love the website. I'm all
Thank you.
about aesthetic and everything, and that I think that makes it even more welcoming.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Truly.
appreciate it. Thank you guys so much.
Yes, I am so excited. I told my husband's so excited to hear this interview, but he's so
Mhm.
excited to use the system
Yeah.
because I was talking to him about it for those special moments where I'm all hyper and I'm like, "No, you need to hear this now. I can't wait for you to call me." So we will be using this.
Yeah.
Us too. Us too. I love having that direct access to them for real. So
We don't anything that can get us closer to them in these
yeah.
situations. It's all about rehabilitation and family and connection will do that. And what
Yeah.
you guys have done and created is amazing.
And it just literally reduces recidivism.
Yes,
Yep.
fully.
Yep.
Literally. And I don't know if you guys have come across this, but oh, excuse me, what we've seen is that when people go see their incarcerated loved ones, simply really, really, really far, And when they go see him, now what's really been going on over the past years, especially since COVID, is you can't even see him in person.
Mm-hmm.
It's the craziest thing in the world. When I found that, I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, what?
Yeah, there's some facilities still like there's one facility I know down in Florida where one of the wives we know has to drive to the facility and get on a video visit there to have a video visit with him, even though she has to drive like an hour and can't see him in person. Like it's not a privilege; it's a right
Yeah.
Yeah,
for to have
Jesus,
communication. So
Jesus, yeah. And like I said, it should be lower than a phone bill. That
yes,
it should
Yeah.
be lower than a phone bill. You get access to everything, and that's what we're fighting for. Again, we're only like $20 a month, right, for everything
hmm
you need, unlimited everything, and $1 for the mailing. And that again, that goes part of I own a majority of my company, right?
hmm
We have amazing investors. Shout out to Slauson, next Slauson out in Los Angeles, next three, and other angels, and hopefully, we have some coming soon and they all believe in our cause,
hmm
right? So what you guys have here is again just being a conduit to
Mhm.
investors where we can make a difference, right? And again, I own the company, so nothing goes without my say so. We got a good hook up here, ladies.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree more. I'm so I can't wait for everyone to hear about this because I think that,
Mhm.
as soon as we start grouping together and putting our heads together, we can really have a say in this world that we think or it feels like we don't have any say or control over, you know?
Let me go
Yeah.
I'll do the hard fight. Yeah, the prisons they might not like me, but okay, let them. Whatever organizations might not like me, they can come after me. I
you're,
don't.
you're like, I'm here.
I'm here. All right, I made $1. Come after me. But
Yep.
get so many people I helped around the world. Okay then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's just and then, again, it's really cool um the fact that a lot of like the younger generations, the millennials, the Gen Zs, are so open to, hey, we're just fed up of it. What can we
I
do?
love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
it's like cancel culture, but in reality, like, all right, how
Yeah,
can we go
we're
like f with the system?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like we're tired of hearing the excuse of, well, that's just the way it's been. Well, why?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
no.
yeah, but
Time to shake things up.
I know we all like our free. We call them freedom fighters, freedom
Oh, I love
fighters.
that. I love that.
So, but that's
That's amazing.
anything else you guys want to know? Any other questions?
No, I think we'll put all of the information in our YouTube box for everyone to follow you guys, to check out the website and everything. And you even said people are welcome to reach out to you if they have any
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
you'll get some
contact
messages,
us
I'm
at
sure.
ourfreedom.ai. Yeah. Use
Okay,
that one because
Okay.
the other one is for trying to raise more money and trying to.
I hear you.
You will get a message back within 2 seconds. I promise you. Any of our social medias, you guys have any questions, just reach out. Again, TikTok, Instagram, just reach out. Right, like I said before, if
Mhm.
something doesn't work, or let's say you have a great idea, we are a startup, so for us, we can do things that Securus can't. And I'll give you guys a quick example of you guys know like Secures wasn't working. It still hasn't been working. It's been on and off because they've been trying to
Hmm
make upgrades. They're
Yeah.
trying to
Mhm.
build bad technology on top of other bad technology, right? Like
Sounds about right.
it's
Broken
awful
systems on broken systems on
Yeah.
broken
on top of
systems.
broken, and I'm just like, are you serious? And like you guys I mentioned, or it typically takes a week to be able to. So when some people typically ask us, well, Aaron, what about I can just send a text? And I'm like, well, how long did that text get to send? How long did
Hmm
that take? Right?
And it can pend, and it's not the same as hearing it. Like
Exactly.
the inflection
Yeah.
in your voice and the excitement or like the sadness or just sharing that moment with them. It's not the same as texting.
Exactly. So, but yeah, no, thank you guys for having me. When are we gonna do
Thank
the?
you.
When is it? Is it when are you guys dropping the episode? Is it? I don't know. I don't.
When
Nobody told me anything.
Wednesday.
So,
Wednesday, we
oh,
will drop that on the
Yeah.
2nd, not on April Fool's Day.
okay, sounds good. Sounds
Yeah.
good. We've upgraded our whole system. I think they've told you guys. We're gonna
Yeah.
gradually release out our calling system, so we'll make sure you guys will have that. But first off, we'll make sure Monday we're releasing out our mailing tool. So we'll let you
Mhm.
guys know Monday. Go on and use it. Tell us what you think, and then probably in the next couple of weeks we can kind of gradually release out our AI box. Now we're just training it. We're trying to like
Hmm Yeah.
On prison
It
voice
takes
messages. I'm like, I would have never thought growing up I would be doing this training LOM on listen to the prison operator. So it's you got we have a lot of partners who really want to see you succeed, especially to get our cell phone carrier by just having that. If we're not an
Mhm.
AT&T or anything that a case, but a very large cell phone carrier saying, "I will work with you." You can't. You can't.
This is our way out the door.
This is our way
Yeah.
out.
See you,
So
Securus.
yeah, yeah.
Hashtag.
Yeah.
Oh man, our team loves. Yeah, our marketing team, they're gonna love this. So let us know again. Let me know if you guys need anything. We do have a couple things for you guys as we kind of move on. And yeah, just highlighting the work. Do a couple more partnerships, things of that nature, and look at some other things, marketing and whatever not. But yeah, let me know if you need anything. We'll throw it in the chat.
For
Don't
sure.
get.
I'll make a bunch of clips too after this. We'll pull some and we can send them in the chat and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, they will love that. Yeah.
I do
awesome.
I do have one question that I want to finish off with
Yeah.
because we ask this of all of our guests that come on. Paige and I are huge into astrology.
True.
So and I'm just so curious. What is your sign? Like your
Oh.
astrological sign?
Oh man. See, you
Oh,
gotta have
don't
women
even
say,
say you
"Oh,
don't
he's a
know.
red flag. Red flag."
Oh,
I
don't say
know.
you're a
I got
Scorpio.
four sisters. I built a business in L.A. I'm a Sag. I'm a Sag.
Okay.
I know. But listen, Sages get
Yeah,
things done.
they
Yeah.
do. I was gonna say, like, they're like,
Yeah.
let's go.
They get it done. That's a
Yeah.
perfect. That's a I love Sages. So
Somebody just told me the other day. So they said, Aaron, you're just 100% in this business, and you just like you never stop. I'm like, no, like also part of it is doing investment banking, right? It's one of those things where I'm
yeah.
just like, well, and sometimes I have to realize, oh wait, okay, let me. But it helps a lot because being in this industry, there's always something new, right? So
Hmm.
we've gotten murdered 1,000,001 times because we found out a new policy that worked against our system, and now we're like, oh, we gotta do this now, but it's just part of it. But yeah, I'm very
I love
my whole
that.
team. But hope
I
you
love
guys one
that.
day can come up to New York. We're going to be hosting an event this summer too. We'll definitely let you guys know about that. For New York Tech Week. So we'll host an event.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Okay.
So it's essentially. I know you guys got to go, but the largest venture fund is sponsoring New York Tech Week, and all these tech companies come on. They have organizations, they have meetings, all this other stuff. We're really just trying to have a party. Networking
Mhm.
event party for people who
Yeah.
are in the space and also just like the innovative space. So we'll definitely keep you guys up to date about that. If you guys make, if not, no big deal. But we look at we've had a lot of return on investments um throughout these networking events. So people, if you come, people typically they love it. But yeah.
Yeah, it's our goal. Paige and I said, like, after our first meeting with y'all and your team, you and your team, that we were gonna do a weekend where we could, or a day where we could come up there to New York and actually go to one of your events. It's like one of our goals. So we're coming. We're coming at some point. I promise.
Yeah.
Hmm.
First week of June, and we'll let you guys know as soon as everything's solidified. We're trying to get a little more some sponsors so it can be free drinks. But yeah, we'll definitely let you guys know. We think it'll be great to have you guys at the event. Telling your stories, telling about everything, everything the knowledge that you know, because at the end of the day, right? People look at this as something taboo, and you can meet real life people who are just like, holy crap, okay, they have something.
That's what we.
Yeah.
That's honestly like that's exactly why we made this podcast. So I'm happy to hear
Oh yeah,
that.
congratulations! I think it said
Yeah.
my team told me 25,000. Is that right,
Um,
listeners?
on Instagram, we
On
have even
Spotify.
yeah. Oh, on
Okay.
Spotify, yeah. We have
Mhm.
a decent audience on all of our platforms.
Wow.
It's bigger than we thought it was.
Yeah.
Oh.
We found out. So
Okay. All
it's
right.
awesome. And
Y'all ain't tell me that.
we rope in a lot of people, especially on YouTube, that don't watch prison stuff, and then they will listen because they're intrigued, and then they're like, "Wow, I totally didn't even think of this like this," and that's like the biggest compliment when people say that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
Wow. No, but that's huge. 'Cause people typically can't get. If I start a podcast, I couldn't get 3 people listening to me. Maybe my mama, my grandma, maybe my auntie, maybe once. That's that's about it. My sisters they be, oh, that's cute. Yeah, all right. Like, how's your business idea going? My mom knows. My biggest ick is when I hear, well, how's your business idea going? I'm like, you mean my company? Like,
Your business?
like, I don't know. I'm just like, it's going well. We trying to do great things, but cool. So again, just let me know. You guys
Amazing.
have us in the chat.
Yes.
So Wednesday, so I can make sure Monday we'll make sure to launch our mailing and production. Let you guys know, you guys play around with it, use it.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. This is
We are
dreams
so.
become a reality. I'm like, oh no, I'm like, I'm like the Moses for the prison wives, man.
Yes.
Let my people go, and
Listen.
I'll leave you
Yeah.
guys off with this. I know I don't know if you guys are Christians or not, but I'm not going to put anything. I don't want to be respectful of everybody's religion, but and it's funny in the Bible, Moses actually had a speech impediment problem. So the
Hmm.
person who negotiated and did deals with his brother Aaron.
Hmm.
A lot of people
Oh,
don't know that. Yeah, so if people ask, "Oh, Aaron,
okay.
tell me about your name," I'm like, "My mom got it from the Bible." Turns out it worked out well because this is what I do. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so Aaron from the
I love
Bible.
that.
Yeah, thank God for my mom naming me that. So
Awesome.
let my people go.
Let my people go.
Hmm.
Let my people go.
Um,
But all right, ladies. Again, really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a
Thank
great,
you,
amazing
Aaron.
weekend. Let me know if you need
Yes,
anything.
we will,
Um,
and we'll send some videos over your way.
oh yeah, yeah. They'll take care of
Cool.
it.
Thank
Bye now.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed that. As we are hopefully one step closer to all of us being able to abandon GTL and Securus, Sue, and flick them to the curb because we are done feeding money to these companies that don't deserve it.
Amen and amen again.
Thank you, Aaron. We love, we love do-gooders.
Yes. We love what you're doing. So thank you so much. Uh-oh, Paige. I'm getting a call.
Who is it?
Oh, let's find out.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Frederick.
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
Oh, good old Florida Fred. It's that time. It's time for some questions. I'm going to go ahead and start the first question. Our first question comes from Addie. She said, if you could start a rumor about yourself, your loved one, or your relationship, what would it be? Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, what would the extent of how far could I get the rumor?
No
Because
limits.
then I would be like, if we could get it up to Governor Newsom,
Free my
and
man.
be like, Governor Newsom, I heard a rumor that my husband reformed his entire prison. There is not
Oh,
one drug in his prison. There is not one act of violence in his prison. He actually did it himself.
so you should free my mans.
That would be the rumor I would start.
Nice. I would, ooh, I would start a rumor about, I don't even know. Good Lord. That I would love to start a rumor that, I don't know. I'm going to be good. I'm not going to be bad.
Do it. Be bad.
No, I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do a good. I'm gonna do a good do-gooder. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be bad because I don't want to be bad. I'm trying to do better. I think I would also start a rumor about Mike. Something very benevolent that he would do, helping those that are indigent back there, and the fact that he does give food and things that he gets from packages to people that don't get packages and stuff like that. I would just kind of maybe boost that rumor a little bit.
I was gonna say, that's not even a rumor if that's true.
No, it's not a rumor. It's true, but I
That's
would
why you
make
gotta
it.
boost it. You gotta boost
I,
it like I just did. You gotta say he actually does that for the entire prison,
he does that.
single-handedly.
Yeah, for everybody back there. He even gives some of the COs some of his food, which he does.
Yeah,
But
sometimes when the COs don't have lunch, Mike will be
Or
like, "Do you
they need
want
a
mine?"
snack.
He'll be
Yeah.
like, "Do you want my lunch?" But
Yeah.
that's the kind of guy Mike is. So
Yeah. So, yeah, I would just boost it and maybe get it all the way up to the warden's ear so he can help get a good word in with the governor who's anyway, but yeah, asshat. But at least maybe give him some perks of the trade for
period.
being
I
a
like
good
the
for
those
being
are
a good dude.
we gotta spin some good rumors.
Mm-hmm.
We can do it. We can make good out of it like that.
Yeah.
It's not like we're lying, really.
No. No. We're just what is it? Like it's like a hyperbole.
Yeah, like my husband is helping reform men in prison. He's just not
Yeah.
every single one of them.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, if he had the opportunity, I know he would. So
Oh yeah, I know in his heart he would want
like I
to for
do,
sure. Yeah.
and I know
For
that he
sure.
hates the drugs there. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. And he can be the miracle worker over there.
Mm-hmm.
So he should be free. Thank you.
Free our men.
Yeah. All right. Do you have one page?
I do. The other question was another lovely one from Addie, so it'll be another thinker. Do you think, quote unquote, prison wives have a role in changing the narrative around incarceration?
100%.
I think as a prison wife, like I said, it's hard not to get involved. Like that's your other half. And when you're witnessing and hearing about all of the different things that they're being put through, like it literally, like it pains you. And it's, how can you not want to fight to better just them getting like treated like humans?
Yeah.
Everyone should absolutely be involved if you're not, and like even getting involved and volunteering in a group that meets like once a month or
Yeah.
something. Like there's so many different ways that you can get involved, like even when they have good bills that are like supportive of reform, just you can literally
Sharing.
join email groups where you can send mass emails to people, and like if you don't want to call, like there's different ways to help, and that's you supporting your husband, and that's an amazing way to show them that you love them, because like Joe loves when he hears about me getting involved in reform stuff. Like he said it before, that's one way that like he knows how much I love him, because of how I'm like, well, it's a humanitarian issue for me, for anyone, because I'm like, why is any human treated like this? But like especially when it's your other half, you're like, fuck nah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even if you don't want to get involved with a nonprofit or a group or anything like that, educating and just talking and having educational conversations about what real life really is, because so many people, I was one of those people. I've never been to a prison. I've never known a prisoner other than Mike. And how different and more like my world, my vision has just expanded, my knowledge has expanded, my empathy has expanded. I've become a more well-rounded person because my eyes have been opened to the terrible way that they're treated and all of the things that are happening in our world when it comes to incarceration. So even just having those educational conversations with people that don't know and that might just be speaking out of their ass and saying stuff that they probably heard on a headline,
Shutting
educating
down the
them.
conspiracies.
Yeah. Just saying, like, that's not really how it is. Let me tell you. And are you willing to listen? Like, share your story, and share your experience. And, people formulate really negative opinions about things they don't understand. So helping them to understand can really change the narrative and change more people than you think. So I definitely, I agree with you, Paige. I think, we have some way, shape, or form, we have some role to play in this, All right, we do have one speaky pipe, darling. One speaky pipe. I'm going to pull it up. All right, and our speaky pipe is from, I think it's anonymous. It says anonymous. All right, here we go.
What are your guys' thoughts on getting pregnant during family visit? We are in California, and it's definitely a conversation that me and my husband have had, because we want to start planning on getting pregnant maybe within the next year or so. We weren't really in a rush right now. My husband is a lifer in California, and due to an unfortunate recent event, we're kind of nervous that family visits will be taken away from lifers and LWAP. So now we're in a rush trying to figure out what the future looks like for us, and when we should start planning to. We have a family visit coming up in about 2-3-ish months. And so now we're really confused, just wanting to pick your guys' brain.
You're picking the right brain.
Yeah.
Because if I know, I know. I think when it comes to having a baby with someone incarcerated, that you have to really, really think it through, and like make sure that it's not just a on a whim decision.
Yeah.
Like I know a baby sounds really great right now, but I would wait until you have decided that that's what you want to do, because it's hard. And like, as much as I would love that with Joe right now, I when I like watch videos of people, like there's one girl I follow who got pregnant with her husband while he was incarcerated, and the baby is like 2 now, and she filmed the one day when they were leaving the prison, and the baby was just crying. She was just in the back crying and just like saying like daddy, and she just doesn't understand why like she can't go. And like, the thought of, even taking my own son and him like not understanding why, Joe wouldn't be able to leave with us.
Yeah.
And like, especially if that's like, it's a lot, and it's a lot that you have to think about. You have to think about the fairness for the child too. You have to think about everything. I'm not against it, obviously. I just say it with caution. And I just say make sure that you know what that's what you want to do, because it's going to be anything but easy.
Yeah. I agree. I have nothing against getting pregnant at family visits. I think that's a beautiful thing. But I think, like Paige said, you kind of have to be ready for knowing that, for the most part, I'm not saying the whole time, but, I would say 80% of the time you're being a single parent. You know what I mean? Like, there were, obviously you would want your loved one to be involved in their life, and that's great. But just know that I know that road is not an easy one for sure. So I think as much as a beautiful thing that it is, like Paige said, you kind of have to be real with yourself about what to expect, because the idea is a beautiful thing.
Oh,
But
yeah. And you want to
the,
give them that, and you want that
yeah,
piece of them with you, and you want to be that one
correct.
to give that to them. And um, I know,
Yeah.
I've totally know. I get
And I
it.
would I would love to have a little piece of Michael here, but in this day and age, I don't even know if I can handle it.
You've got to
You
make
know?
sure you're good, like
Yeah.
financially, mentally, like
Yeah. All of it.
all of it.
Yeah.
But I'm not against
So,
it, obviously. Like,
yeah.
people make it work. I know a lot of girls that make it work.
Yeah. So, I mean, we wish you guys the best,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
hopefully, if this is something that you really want, I hope it does happen for you guys. And, if that's something that you do want to do, I just, I hope that you've looked at all of the aspects of it, not just because, sometimes we get I get wrapped up in, oh my God, I want a baby so bad. And then I'm like, some days I come home and I'm like, thank God I don't have any children. Oh my God. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know how some women do it, how they go to work all day and then they come home and they have to do more work when they get home. So,
Hard.
yeah.
I don't know how people that have more than one kid do it. I say that all the time. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And especially in a lifer, it's different if they have, not that much time or a short sentence or 10 or less the years, but
You're
to be a
doing.
lifer, You're doing that. You're doing this for life.
And you have to realize that you're also in a way committing your child to that life too, which in some of our circumstances, like I'm one to talk, me too. Like that's what I would be doing too. It's just something that you need to acknowledge and accept because it's the reality of these situations that we're in.
Yeah. But I always say happy humping.
Get it, girl.
Happy family visit in a few months. And, you know,
don't stress it too much. Don't stress the second half at all until, like I said, I know you probably already listened if you're listening this far, but don't stress it until we need to. Yeah. It would be a process even if it did happen, and there would be a lot of people opposing it. So like, let's not let that steal our sanity. I'm not letting it steal mine. Yeah. You're not either.
Yep. Stay strong, ladies. Don't do the what if game.
Not today.
Not today, Satan. Not today, Satan. All right, guys. Well, that comes to the end of our Potty Pod, episode 51. And we love you guys. Look out for our our meme of the week. Follow, share, subscribe, hit that button, and rate.
Our Freedom AI. We'll link it down below.
Yeah. Check them out. Give them a follow.
On Instas. They're on the TikTok. Hit them up. Check out the website. It's pretty cool.
It is. And we love you guys. We'll see you guys next week. And besitos.
Besitos.
All right, guys. Have a great week, guys. And we'll see you on next hump day. Bye.
This is for the ones who love through the distance, for the ones who stay solid while time keeps ticking, for the ones who hold it down but never lose themselves. This is for the prison wives. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go, I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. They don't see the late nights, letters on the table, fighting through the system, just trying to stay stable. They don't see the count days, they don't feel the time crawl, they just see the sentence, but they don't see the love at all. Yeah, I made the vow and I stand 10 toes, still got my life, still got my goals. I hold it down cause I choose to stay. This love got walls but it don't got chains. Don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break.